There is a moment in every English learner's life when the world feels louder than their voice. A moment when someone smirks, someone giggles, or someone repeats your sentence. Not to understand you, but to mock the way you said it. And in that moment, something inside you freezes. Your thoughts run faster than your words. You want to explain yourself, but silence becomes your shield. Today, this documentary begins with one simple message. You never have to feel small because of your English. Not today. Not ever. This is your journey into confidence. This is your new voice. Most learners don't struggle because the language is difficult. They struggle because every mistake feels like a spotlight switching on in a dark room. Someone laughs, and it echoes in your head for years. Someone corrects you rudely, and suddenly you believe you are not good enough, even when you are trying your best. This chapter explores how fear becomes the first wall that stops thousands of learners from speaking. And yet, this same wall becomes the first one we break today. People laugh for many reasons: nervousness, insecurity, habit, their own struggles. But the truth is simple. They are not laughing at you. They are laughing at the moment. When someone mocks your English, it reveals something about them, not about you. Many of the world's greatest leaders, innovators, and creators once spoke broken English. Some still do. And yet, they move the world. Because confidence is louder than grammar. Purpose is stronger than pronunciation. You do not need perfect English to be powerful. You need courage. Most learners try to jump into complicated forms, perfect tenses, conditional structures, passive voice. But real confidence begins with the simplest tense, the simple present. This tense is your foundation. It is how you talk about your life, your habits, your dreams, your identity. When you master the simple present, you build clarity. And when you build clarity, you build confidence. In this documentary, you will learn how the simple present becomes your personal superpower. Not through technical charts, but through storytelling and real-life moments you can feel. Before you speak English with the world, you speak English to yourself. Some learners say, "I cannot do it. I speak slowly. My accent is bad." They will laugh. Your internal conversation becomes your external confidence. This chapter transforms that voice inside you. You will learn to say, "I speak, I learn, I grow. I am improving every day." When the voice inside your mind becomes supportive, the world outside cannot shake you. Simple present becomes a mindset. I speak, I try, I improve, I rise. Your hands shake, your throat tightens, your words feel locked. This is not a language problem. This is a pressure problem. In this chapter, you will learn to breathe before you speak, to pause without fear, and to use simple present sentences that keep you steady. When you say, "I feel nervous," or "I need a moment," you take control. Confidence is not speaking fast. It is speaking honestly. And the more honest you become, the more natural your English feels. There comes a day when your fear becomes too heavy to carry. A day when you look at yourself and realize that silence is costing you more than mistakes ever will. This part explores that turning point. The quiet rebellion inside your heart when you say, "I speak today," even if my voice shakes. Many learners think confidence arrives suddenly. But in truth, confidence is a decision. It is a moment when you choose your future over your fear. When you speak in simple present, you take the first step toward that future. You say, "I speak now. I learn now. I grow now." And the moment you speak anyway, even with mistakes, even with shaking hands, something incredible happens. You become louder than your fear. Many learners treat English like an exam. They imagine red marks, silent judgments, invisible scores. But English is not a test. It is a bridge. It connects you to people, jobs, opportunities, experiences, dreams. In this part, you learn to see English as a tool instead of a measurement of your worth. When you speak in simple present, I work, I study, I hope, I dream. You start building that bridge. This chapter invites you to step onto that bridge without shame. You don't need perfect steps to cross it. You only need consistent ones. Shame is a quiet shadow that follows many English learners. One mistake leads to embarrassment, embarrassment leads to silence, and silence leads to fear of speaking again. This is the shame cycle. But the way you break it is simple. You speak again. Not perfectly, not bravely, not fluently. Just again. Simple present becomes your tool here because it lets you express yourself without complexity. When you say, I try again, you break the cycle. When you say, I speak again, you take back your voice. Shame loses its strength when you refuse to hide. Short sentences are the secret weapon of confident speakers. Long sentences make you nervous. Short sentences give you control. In this part, you learn how simple present sentences become anchors during conversation. You discover the beauty of saying things clearly. I like this. I need that. I understand. I don't know. These sentences are not childish. They are powerful. They show honesty. They show clarity. They show presence. The world does not respect complicated English, and clarity begins with simplicity. Every learner has met that person who corrects English with a sharp tone, a smirk, or a hint of superiority. This part teaches you how to handle those moments with grace and strength. When someone corrects you rudely, it does not mean you are wrong. It means they are impatient. When someone mocks your sentence, it does not mean you are weak. It means they lack compassion. You learn to respond with calm, simple present statements. I learn. I practice. I speak every day. You step out of their shadow and continue walking in your own light. Rude correction does not stop your journey. It reveals who should not walk beside you. Confidence is not loudness. It is rhythm. It is the ability to speak, pause, and continue without apology. In this chapter, you learn the power of the pause. Pausing makes your English clearer. Pausing gives your mind space. Pausing shows control. Many learners fear silence, but silence is not your enemy. Silence is your partner. When you speak in simple present with intentional pauses, the listener understands you better. More importantly, you understand yourself better. Every pause becomes a breath of confidence. Your accent holds memories, your childhood, your culture, your people, your home. Some learners feel ashamed of their accent because someone once made fun of it. But your accent is not a problem. It is your story. This part helps you accept your accent instead of fighting it. Simple present helps here too. When you say, I speak with pride, I sound like myself, I love my voice, you reclaim your identity. Fluency does not require an American or British accent. Fluency requires clarity and courage. Your accent is your fingerprint. No one else has it. That makes it powerful. Confidence does not come from long speeches. It comes from small conversations, ordering food, greeting a friend, talking to a classmate. Every small conversation is a tiny victory that strengthens your voice. In this chapter, you learn to use simple present sentences to build confidence one moment at a time. You say, I order food. I ask a question. I talk to a friend. These moments seem small, but together they become a mountain of progress. Step by step, your English becomes less of a fear and more of a friend. Some learners think slow speaking is a weakness, but slow speaking is clarity. Your mind may run quickly, but your words can take their time. This part teaches you to honor your natural speaking pace. You learn to say sentences slowly in simple present like, I explain, I share, I understand this point. Slow speaking is not a sign of low ability. It is a sign that you care about clarity. You do not need to chase your thoughts. You only need to guide them. There comes a moment when you stop borrowing courage from the world and begin creating it inside yourself. This part explores that quiet transformation. You no longer speak to impress others. You no longer speak to avoid mistakes. You speak because your voice matters. You speak because your dreams need sound. Simple present becomes the language of your power. When you say, I speak for me, you step into your identity. The fear of judgment begins to fade because you learn something important. Your voice becomes stronger when it stands on its own feet. There is a truth that many English learners forget. Native speakers make mistakes too. They forget words, change sentences midway, use slang incorrectly, repeat themselves. Mistakes are not a sign of weakness. They are a sign of being human. This part teaches you to stop expecting perfection from yourself. When you use simple present to describe your learning, you create freedom. You say, I learn every day. I make mistakes. I grow again tomorrow. When you accept mistakes as part of the process, the pressure melts away. You rise, not because you are perfect, but because you keep going. Some learners chase complicated grammar to sound advanced, but fluency does not begin with complexity. It begins with clarity. Simple present is the tense that shapes your everyday life. It helps you express who you are, what you do, what you like, and what you believe. In this part, you learn that fluency is the ability to express yourself confidently, not elegantly. You learn that powerful communication is simple communication. When you master simple present, you gain the confidence that flows into every other tense. It becomes the heartbeat of your English. Every learner carries a private story inside their mind. Some say, I speak badly. My English is weak. People laugh at me. But these stories are outdated. They were created by past moments, old hurts, old fears. This part guides you to rewrite that inner narrative. You begin using simple present to shape a new identity. You say, I speak clearly. I learn fast. I stay confident. Your internal story becomes supportive instead of painful. And when the story changes, your entire experience of English changes with it. Embarrassment is heavy. It makes your heart sink, your cheeks warm, your confidence collapse for a moment. But embarrassment is not the end. It is a beginning. It is proof that you tried. It is evidence that you stepped out of your comfort zone. In this chapter, you learn to use simple present to pick yourself up again. You say, I try again. I speak again. I move forward. Courage is not the absence of embarrassment. Courage is the decision to continue after it. The learners who succeed are not those who avoid mistakes. They are the ones who return to their voice every time it breaks. In real conversations, people remember how you made them feel, not how perfectly you spoke. A confident speaker creates connection, warmth, clarity. This part teaches you that confidence outweighs grammar every time. When you speak boldly in simple present, I believe this. I work here. I understand your point. People trust your words. Confidence is magnetic. It pulls attention, respect, and opportunity toward you. The world does not expect you to speak like a textbook. The world expects you to speak like a human being with purpose. Many learners think their voice becomes strong only when the shaking stops. But your voice is powerful even when it trembles. This part reminds you that shaking shows bravery, not weakness. It shows you are stepping into growth. Simple present becomes your grounding tool. I speak now. I feel nervous. I continue. Each sentence brings you back into the moment. Your voice does not need to be steady to be meaningful. It only needs to be yours, and the world will listen. Big goals are inspiring, but they can also overwhelm. That is why successful learners start small. They build confidence through small steps repeated with consistency. This part shows you how to master simple daily sentences. You practice describing your routine, your habits, your choices. You say, I wake up early, I walk to work, I study at night. Each small sentence is a seed. Over time, it grows into the tree of fluency. Starting small is not weakness, it is strategy. Many learners apologize constantly. Sorry for my English, sorry for my mistakes, sorry for my accent. But this habit takes away your power. It makes your voice smaller. This chapter frees you from unnecessary apology. When you speak in simple present, I speak, I learn, I improve. You communicate strength. You show pride in your progress. You stop shrinking yourself. You stop explaining yourself. Your English becomes a tool, not a burden. And that freedom changes everything. Every learner has a unique rhythm, a unique tone, a unique way of expressing ideas. This part helps you discover your natural speaking style. You are not required to sound like a teacher, a celebrity, or a native speaker. You are required to sound like yourself. When you speak naturally in simple present, I think, I feel, I want. Your English becomes authentic. You speak with honesty instead of imitation. You speak with personality instead of pressure. That is where true fluency lives. Many learners believe that fast English equals good English, but speed often hides clarity. This part shifts your perspective. You learn that speaking slowly is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of control. It is a gift you give to yourself and your listener. When you speak slowly, you hear your own thoughts more clearly. You choose your words with intention. You feel grounded instead of rushed. Simple present supports this calm rhythm. You say, I speak slowly. I think clearly. I take my time. These sentences become anchors. When you speak with ease, your confidence grows naturally, like a quiet sunrise that lights the room without noise. One of the scariest moments for learners is when someone looks directly at them while they speak. Their eyes feel heavy. Their attention feels intense. But this chapter teaches you how to stay centered in that pressure. You learn to breathe, to hold eye contact for a moment, and to return your focus to your message rather than your fear. Simple present becomes your guide. You say, I stay calm. I speak clearly. I continue. When you focus on your intention instead of their reaction, their gaze loses its power. You stop performing and start communicating. Repetition is the heart of mastery. But many learners feel embarrassed when they need to repeat sentences or practice the same phrases again and again. This part removes that shame completely. You learn that even professional actors repeat lines hundreds of times. Singers rehearse the same note until it becomes perfect. Athletes repeat movements until they become natural. Repetition is not a sign of weakness. It is the path to strength. With simple present, you proudly declare, I practice daily. I repeat this. I improve. Every repetition builds a new layer of confidence inside you. You do not need a classroom or a teacher to improve your English. Your daily life is a living classroom filled with opportunities. This part teaches you to convert simple moments, getting ready, cooking, working, into English practice. You narrate your actions in simple present. You say, I wash dishes, I open the door, I walk outside. This simple technique rewires your brain to think in English naturally. Over time, English becomes a part of your thinking, not just your speaking. You become your own teacher, and your daily routine becomes your lesson plan. Every word you speak in English carries courage. Many people do not see the emotional work behind your sentences, but this chapter honors it. When you speak, you confront fears, doubts, and past memories. You challenge old voices that told you not to try. That takes strength. Simple present gives you the language to appreciate that strength. You say, I grow, I try, I stand strong. Every sentence becomes an act of emotional bravery. You learn to celebrate your words instead of judging them. Most learners underestimate themselves. They compare their English to someone more fluent and instantly feel small. But this part opens your eyes to your true progress. You understand more than you realize. You communicate more than you admit. You express emotions, ideas, thoughts, and stories. That is fluency. When you say in simple present, I understand, I communicate, I express myself, you take ownership of your ability. Your English is not weak. Your confidence is simply waking up. And once it awakens fully, you will see how far you have already come. There is a moment when you stop being just a listener and begin to see yourself as a speaker. This shift is powerful. You no longer wait for others to speak first. You no longer hide behind your headphones. You no longer stay silent when you have something to say. This part explores that transition. You say in simple present, I speak first. I share my thoughts. I join the conversation. This identity shift transforms how you see yourself. You stop acting like a student. You start acting like a communicator. One of the most surprising paths to confidence is helping other learners. When you explain something simple to someone else, your own understanding becomes stronger. You realize that you know more than you thought. This part shows you how teaching, even in small ways, builds your voice. You use simple present with supportive statements like, I help, I explain, I guide. Helping others turns your learning into leadership, and leadership turns your English into something meaningful. English becomes harder when emotions rise: anger, sadness, excitement, stress. Words feel stuck, sentences feel tangled. In this part, you learn how to speak even in emotional moments. You return to the simplicity of the present tense. I feel upset. I need space. I want clarity. I am okay. These sentences help you communicate clearly when emotions blur your thoughts. Simple present becomes your tool to stay grounded. Emotion does not break your English, it reveals your humanity. Fluency is not a destination, it is a realization. It happens on an ordinary day, in a simple conversation, when you suddenly notice that you understood everything. You responded confidently. You stayed calm. You expressed your thoughts. That day arrives quietly, without applause, without ceremony. But it is one of the most powerful moments in your learning journey. In simple present, you finally say, I am fluent enough. Not perfect, not advanced, just enough. And enough is powerful. There is a gentle kind of confidence that grows inside you with time. It does not shout. It does not try to prove anything. It simply exists, like a steady heartbeat. This part explores that quiet beauty. You begin to speak without fear of judgment, without the thought that someone is analyzing you, without the need to impress. You speak because it feels natural. You speak because the words belong to you now. When you say in simple present, I speak freely, you recognize that your fear is slowly dissolving. What replaces it is ease. Ease in your voice, ease in your breath, ease in your presence. Some conversations stay with you forever. A stranger who understands you instantly, a friend who listens patiently, a coworker who compliments your English. These moments are small, but they reshape your confidence. This chapter follows these heart-shifting interactions. You learn to accept compliments instead of rejecting them. You say, thank you, I appreciate that. You begin to see yourself through kinder eyes. Simple present helps you frame this new identity. You say, I communicate well. I connect easily. I grow every day. These conversations become turning points in your journey. Not everyone will believe in your journey. Some people will doubt your ability. Some will question your progress. Some will think you cannot improve. But this part teaches you something powerful. Their doubt is not your truth. It is only their limitation. When you speak in simple present, I learn, I improve, I rise. You speak your truth. You commit to your growth, even when others cannot see it. Confidence is not built by agreement from others. It is built by the determination within you. And every day you speak, you prove your doubters wrong without needing to say a word. There is a moment when English stops being a subject and becomes a part of your identity. You think in English. You dream in English. You express emotions in English. This transformation does not happen suddenly, but it happens naturally over time. This part helps you notice that shift. You feel the freedom of not translating every thought. You speak effortlessly, even when you do not plan your words. You say, I live with this language. I use it every day. I trust myself. English becomes a companion instead of a challenge, and that freedom makes you unstoppable. There will be a day when someone hears you speak and feels courage in their own heart. They may not tell you. They may not show it. But your journey will inspire someone else's. This chapter shows you how your bravery becomes a silent gift to others. When you speak confidently, even imperfectly, you give someone permission to try. You say in simple present, I inspire, I motivate, I lead by example. And suddenly you realize the truth. Your journey is bigger than you. Your courage moves the world in ways you do not always see. English learning never stops. Even native speakers learn new words, new expressions, new ways of communicating. This part teaches you to embrace the never-ending nature of growth. You stop searching for a final destination. Instead, you enjoy the journey. You say, I grow forever. I learn continuously. I evolve every day. When you accept that growth is lifelong, the pressure disappears. You free yourself from the idea of perfection. You speak with confidence because you understand that improvement has no finish line, only new beginnings. This final part brings your entire journey together. You began with fear, doubt, embarrassment, and memories of people laughing at your English. But now, you stand in a different place. You carry strength in your voice. You carry pride in your accent. You carry clarity in your sentences. Your journey is not about perfect English. It is about powerful communication. And today, you speak with courage, not fear. You say in simple present, I speak confidently. I trust my voice. I believe in myself. These sentences are not grammar. They are declarations of identity. You have built your confidence piece by piece, moment by moment, word by word. No one can take that away from you. So here is your call to action. Speak today. Speak tomorrow. Speak every day. Speak slowly. Speak boldly. Speak honestly. Do not wait for perfect grammar. Do not wait for someone to approve of your accent. Do not wait for fear to disappear. Your English belongs to you. Your voice belongs to you. And the world needs to hear it. You are ready now? Your English is ready now. And your confidence begins with the next sentence you speak.